You won't believe what ChatGPT just released. On their dev day, they released a crazy amount of stuff, but basically, they're enabling you to create your own GPT, and boom, there we go. Let's drop right in. Hi everyone, today you're going to learn about OpenAI's Dev Day, ChatGPT4 Turbo, what it means for you and the rest of the world. They have released an app store and you can create your own GPT assistant on there. It is crazy, you're going to learn a lot. Also, at this point, I would recommend for you to turn on the video because Luca's going to share his screen and you're going to learn how to build your own GPT. So hang on and let's catch you later. Also, give a like and subscribe.
All right, let's go, Mark. I'm excited.
Alrighty.
Tell me, give me all the news.
All right. So Dev Day was last week and they have dropped a bomb, a nuke actually. So basically they're enabling everyone to build their own GPT. And what does that even mean? So it means everyone can create their own custom ChatGPTs and give it more data to begin with. So basically think about a smart companion that you can feed your own data, or let's say your books that you've been studying and you can ask him anything about it. So you can just give him, I don't know, let's say all Harry Potter's and be like, hey buddy, what's Harry's favorite food? And because it was mentioned probably once in there, we'll give you an answer to this. So there are no limits. Well, there are limits. Lucas, let's talk about the limits.
So in general, before you were already able to build custom GPTs, right? But there were limitations between context of 8K to 32 token lengths, 32K long token length. So just to give you an
What does that mean?
example, exactly. So 32K token length actually mean 52 pages roughly. So you could basically teach the algorithm or give it background knowledge of 52 pages. Now it's 128K tokens. So even though we don't do public math, that would be around 200, 210, something like this pages. So it's already a big update, which is amazing. So you can teach them a lot of things now. And for those people who don't know anything about ChatGPT or even building a bot, don't worry about it. Because basically, why is this so important with the tokens and the customization is because before everybody can use ChatGPT, right? That's free. But what makes it more interesting if you can personalize it, right? So I can, for example, pretend to be a nutritional expert, right? So then I can go teach it with the latest studies that actually have been released of 2023. Actually, we did it, and I will show you later in the podcast. So you can just teach it on the latest page or papers or that have been released, and then it will just pretend and be your assistant for all nutritional questions, which is super cool. And yeah, we want to talk about also about the context. But yeah, Mark.
Quick question. All right. So you said that there is a limit, so 128,000 tokens, but can you split up that into 2 times 128? Is there a way to cheat the system?
I haven't seen it yet, or I haven't tested it yet to like cheat it. But basically, on Dev Day, they said it's a limitation of 128K tokens. I'm assuming it will just stop reading a certain point of time, or will just forget certain things. But again, you have to make sure that only the most important information is there. Because think about it, ChatGPT now has the information till April 23, and then you can just add the additional information that are not known to ChatGPT.
Got it. Actually, Lucas, I know something about this. So I watched this video as well. So the problem is that it starts imagining things. So imagining things basically, or well, I think it's called imagining, right? So basically, at the beginning of whatever you put into the context, into the information, it is very accurate. But the more information you give, or the longer the the input is, the more inaccurate it will become. So if you ask a question that is on page 208 out of 210, it's going to be less accurate. So that's what they're also increasing with the ChatGPT4 Turbo. So thereby the context will be more precise and it will be more exact into the longer to the document.
Actually, when you build your own GPT, so basically what ChatGPT also is now pushing forward is having their own GPT store. So they're calling these now these mini apps that will run as add-ons or plugins on ChatGPT. They just call it GPTs. And basically they enable you to build them. And in that question, they're like, hey, if I don't know anything, should I make a guess, right? So for example, if it's like, if you want to create a tool which is only focused, or GPT that's only focused on fantasy stories, okay? then it might be fine if you don't have it like from the context to imagining things, because it can be creative. But now coming back, if it's like scientific things, right? So if it's like based on scientific papers, it should never imagine things. So they thought about it, and there you can actually say, hey, never imagine things. If you don't know something, ask the person you're texting with to clarify. What do you exactly mean? That way, you'll never have issues with that, right? So it is. I'm not 100% sure how accurate it actually is because I haven't tested it completely. I just built one and played a little bit around with it, which is kind of cool. But I will talk also about the downsides of it in a second.
There's another thing that's super cool on the playground, Lucas, custom actions.
Yeah.
Do you want to
So
go into
Mark,
it or should I explain?
yes, please. What are custom actions? Let us know.
So basically, what you can do now is not only ChatGPT is a chat, but you can also make it do things for you. So that means if there is a trigger, you can say like, "Oh, by the way, now use this API," or I don't know, send out an email. Hey, use my API to my Gmail account, and then send out an email to Lucas and say, "Hey, bro, good podcast. By the way, Mark, you have a nice
Give us
mustache."
5 stars, 5 stars review Insider Twins. No, so exactly. So
Exactly.
these custom actions are super nice because it enables you that ChatGPT access or does something outside of ChatGPT, which is really cool. Which now enables us to not be only just on one layer, but a second layer, right? Because you start interacting with different APIs, which makes it so cool.
Well, makes also automation crazy because now you have, all right, I don't know who isn't familiar with automation nowadays. It's a big thing in the tech world. Mostly Make.com and Zapier are massive in it. So you have whole automation flows that are basically triggered when one event happens. Let's say you get an email into your inbox that triggers directly that you get a notification on your server, and the server you send out something else, etc. It goes all down the way down the road.
For me, what I want to go back to is for the GPTs, right? I want to actually show quickly the one I built. We built one is called NutriSci Assistant. So basically, there was this year released a latest paper, which is basically actually a conglomerate of a lot of papers on nutrition and the impact on the body. We fed it. Well, actually, the document is I think 2,000 pages, but only the first 500. We just took it, split the document, fed it into ChatGPT or in the custom GPT, and
At
then you
this
can just
point,
text
let's
with him.
have a shout out to Claudia who sent this document to us, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's super cool. So basically, right now, as you can see, I can just start texting with him. I was just asking the importance of dietary fiber, and it just starts breaking it down and take the information about it. Let's just ask, what about the metabolism, metabolism and fats? So let's just ask random questions. But the only thing what I already saw, which is a little, I would say a downside right now, is the speed of accessing the information, right? So for example, right now, it probably will take 10 to 15 seconds to look through the knowledge, so basically the background information or the custom data that we provided, which is, it's quite long, right? Because normally you're used to now ChatGPT being just like fast as fuck. And yeah, well, now it starts writing, which is nice. But yeah, it goes into detail. It does it quite well, but I mean, it's early stages. I really like that you can share it. For example, I could just say, "Hey, share this this GPT and make it only like similar to Google Docs, where you can say share it only with people only people who have the link have access to it, which is cool. So you can build it internally or with your friends, which I really like. Or you can just make it publicly accessible, which is also really nice. But yeah, in general, I already like at the beginning when I finished it, it didn't work. Like literally, it says it took like 2 minutes to process the file because it was too long. And then you can just text with ChatGPT, like in that GPT part, and be like, "Hey, it takes too long to process. Can you help me out?" And it just like optimizes it, and then it was already much faster, which is really cool. I really like that. And yeah, Mark. So where do we see the future of this going?
Well, look, we're just starting off with all these things. So, I mean, OpenAI, even though they are startup, scale up, whatever you want to define them as, they're kicking ass and they're developing at a rapid speed. I think probably in the next 3-4 months, probably by February, I'm guessing, we're gonna have another dev day. Well, they're gonna have another dev day, and they're gonna introduce something else. Because yes, they have the app store, but you cannot monetize on it. And people want to monetize at some level, somehow, these kind of things. And then you're gonna have more advanced stuff because you have right now actions, but there might be just one-time actions, etc. So not as complexity. And I think they're gonna establish themselves as the platform to be connecting all these things together, and they will also help automate a lot of things for a lot of companies. So they're gonna be a massive opportunity in the future.
What I really think on top of this is, imagine, Mark, they enable people to, well, you can build your custom GPT right now, right? And then you can just implement it to your website just with a quick plugin and ready to go, right? So, because right now it's not implementable. It's You can only have it in a ChatGPT ecosystem, but in the future you will just be able to, yeah, I built it here, and then you can build it onto your own website, customize it, different icon, etc., which is really, really cool.
Just like a custom code, just like, hey, snippet, boop, an
Yes,
API call.
exactly.
I think
Yeah,
that's what it's going to be. Anyways, you have an API, it's a different API, and you just use it, and there we go.
super
So I think
cool.
it's going to be amazing. All right, that's a good summary for that one, but I want to quickly summarize the rest of the AI Dev Day because I think that was super cool, and I think our listeners deserve to hear this. So they also introduced or get an upgrade to the GPT Vision, which now enables screen clipping and then can answer questions. So basically, you can have a video, upload it, and then you can ask about what happened in this video. Fucking amazing. Super, super cool based on visual cues, not listening. Yes,
Talk
Lucas.
about listening. You can also, ChatGPT now introduces 6 custom voices. So basically what you can do, you can basically have speak, well, you just text it, and then you can select one of the 6 default voices, or that they can have, and they look super, super nice, or they sound super, super nice. And then you can have already your bot talking, right? So imagine you just built your custom GPT, which is a nutritional coach, or a fitness coach, so whatsoever, and then you just have a voice, so the people can just talk with them, right? Because ChatGPT is also enabling people to just have voice activation. So in the end, you could have a normal conversation with that person. I think that would be super, super sick. I can't wait to see the first people actually implementing it. Maybe we might build our own. We'll see. Other news that I also saw, input tokens are so much cheaper now, 3x less, and output tokens also got so much cheaper. So in general, they go in the right directions, because that way you can build really, really big products without breaking the bank. And yeah, I really, really like it.
So who's the biggest winner of all of this? Well, there's two. Microsoft is one big one, and the end consumer because they're getting cool shit.
I like it. Good
I
shit.
think that's the pot, bro.
All right, that's a plot. Peace.